Can you hear us, Jordan?
Yeah, I got you now.
What's up? How we doing, man?
Good. How you doing?
What's
Good.
up,
Thanks for
Jordan?
coming
Nice to
on.
meet you.
Nice to meet you too, man.
This is my partner Nico. He's the founder of Elevate. Just to let you know, we're recording quick. Um, you
Yeah.
know, we do right away. We let the viewers know that it's kind of no cutout, basically authentic. This is going to be the 16th episode of Beyond the Field Pod. You can find it anywhere: Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. We got them all streaming on Spotify too. So we have actually taken a few week break. We're pretty busy schedule, but as soon as you
Yeah.
answered me, we're like, oh, as soon as we can get on a pod, we would love to do that. So thanks for taking the
Yeah.
time. For the
Yeah,
listeners
for
out there,
sure.
this is a cool one for me because I'm wearing my Tampa hat that I got at the golf outing that you might have even had to work a few years ago.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
Jordan is a Tampa grad, 2021, right? You got picked up in the 14th round.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. So Tampa 2021 grad, and now he is with the Los Angeles Dodgers. How's the grind in the minor leagues been?
It's honestly it's been awesome, dude. You hear stories like when you're trying to get into it, like obviously everyone's chasing that dream, like in your high school, college, and you hear stories about how it's a grind and like showing up every day. It's like it sucks, it's a wear on your body. And it is, but now that they have everything kind of figured out with like helping us out with getting paid more in the housing, dude, it's sick. It's been pretty unreal being able to live this dream that I had for so long. And I never thought I'd be where I am right now. Even back in college, going to UT, never would have thought I'd be here in Double A with the Dodgers. But here I am, and it's like it's pretty surreal. But it's been really just like a dream come true to be able to show up every day and keep playing baseball, and they're paying me for it.
Yeah. Coach Urso could only give us so much money while we were in college. Now you're actually getting
Yeah.
paid some money to live on while you're playing. That's a lot to unpack actually right there. What have you seen in the new changes of MLB trying to take care of the minor league players a little bit more?
Yeah, so I came in at a weird time where it was like 21, we got drafted and the changes weren't in effect yet. So that year we got signed, went to Arizona, and like they put us in a hotel while we were like doing mini camp stuff, like working out at the complex. But like we were getting paid like whatever the rookie level paycheck is, and they were taking, I think, $10 a day out of our paycheck for the hotel, which is fine, but it was like, okay, like whatever. But then they sent me and one of my close friends to Low out in California. And you get out there and it's like, all right, like the team is staying in this hotel. It's $80 a night. Figure it out. And so
Like
we're
they didn't
getting
pay 80, didn't wouldn't pay for that.
no, the team didn't pay for that. The affiliate didn't pay for that. Nobody. So like me and my friends show up, we get off the flight, go to the stadium, like meet all the guys there. It's like exciting, play the game. After the game, we have all our bags and we go to the hotel and it's like, all right, like we got to get a room. And it's like the hotel's like, oh, you guys are with the team. We're like, yeah. It's like, all right, well, we'll get this room locked down for you for like the next week or whatever, but you're gonna have to pay $80 a night. So I mean, like me, luckily it was like we're splitting it, so it's like $40 a person each night. So it's not bad, but at that level, we're not getting paid. And back then, we weren't getting paid as much as we are now, and so
So ridiculous, though, at
I
the end of
think,
the day. It's too much.
That
yeah,
is.
I mean, it was kind of like I was like, okay, this is what minor league life is like because I was getting my paycheck like every 2 weeks, and then I was like spending $40 a day for the hotel room that I was sleeping in for 7 hours, and that was my whole paycheck while I was in Lowe was going to that hotel room. I didn't have anything left over, so it was kind of like, all right, this is a grind. But now it's like after the 21 season, all those changes went into effect. So like spring training 22, everything was different. You're like getting paid a little bit more. And then the teams have to set up housing for you wherever you go, like whatever affiliate. So last year I was in an apartment. This year they have us in houses out here in Double A. So it's been like way different.
Nice, dude. I mean that's what we want for these minor league players because you guys are the talent that's working your way up to, continue entertaining us at that major league level. So I mean, that's
Yeah,
ridiculous that some of these players are I mean, you guys had to go through that. I mean, that's
yeah.
like
It was
almost
it was it was kind of crazy. Like I think the team I was on, the low A team, usually they have more Latin guys, and the Latin guys don't come from any money at all, really. And so a lot of them were splitting a hotel room, like 5 or 6 guys, into a 2 bedroom hotel room, just so they didn't have to pay as much and they could hang on to a little bit more of their paycheck.
yeah.
It's wild.
Wow. That is
Did you
something
have to
that
work?
I mean, I
Did you have
never
to work
hear.
like more jobs in the off season to kind of help you keep afloat during the season? Because I think that's an aspect of. I mean, maybe not so much anymore. It probably still happens, but like 2 or 3 years
Yeah,
ago, when guys are paying for their own hotel rooms, right? Like you probably need to do like a little bit of extra work while you're home and also training and maintaining all that stuff.
yeah, that was the other big thing is like the off season, like they don't count us as employees during that time. So like we don't get paid at all. And I think this year that's starting to change too. They're going to start paying us a little bit during the off season. But like this past off season and the year before, I was doing my workouts in the morning, going to the UT field to throw, and then I would go find side jobs to do to make a little bit extra money just so I could be able to like just feel like I had some kind of security during the year, or even just to be able to have fun during the off season and like still be a normal person kind of.
Wow. Were you in college during before the NIL laws were passed or no?
Oh yeah. I don't think
Yeah.
they I don't think that stuff ever really was going on when I was there.
Yeah. So
I
I'm
was
wondering now like,
That was
how
the
is
summer
finding
after you got drafted, I think, or during that summer when
Yeah.
you got drafted. That's when that kind of got put into place.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So how is now that you're, a professional player, how has creating deals between brands been working for you? Have you found any fits there or is it kind of just,
Uh a lot of guys, I haven't done anything personally. Just because like I don't want that to be my focus. And I'm also like a 14th round draft pick. Like I could reach out to brands and be like, hey, like I play in the Dodger system. Like I would love to like do some stuff with y'all. And they'd probably work with me, but I haven't had any brands really reach out to me personally and say like, hey, let's work together. Um, just because they usually go after like those top prospects, like high draft pick guys, and which is fine with me. I'd rather stay like kind of below the radar, do my own thing, and like worry about getting to the big leagues, and then maybe all that will fall into place. But it was kind of cool seeing some of that stuff like happening when we got drafted. Like get to the complex and like you meet all those like high draft guys, and they're just like us, they're chill, and they show up to the locker room every day, and it's like new package, new package, new package. We got guys getting like mattresses. We got guys getting scooters, like electric bikes, like anything you can think of. They're like brands are just sending them because they want their name connected to it. But
yeah.
I haven't had anything, but it was kind of cool to see that like happening pretty much every day.
Yeah. And you're with Mike Dillon, right, at Equity Sports?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, he's a great guy. I've actually been able to connect with him because he's in the Tampa area here and he
yeah,
knows me. I played obviously this past year for Tampa and then working here with Elevate, I reached out to him. I got connected through Jose and we've
yeah,
had a few great phone calls. So if you guys ever want us like to try to because we have some, you know, smaller deals with brands that we could potentially connect you with if you ever wanted a care package or any of that
yeah.
type of stuff. We can get you some more extra free gear while you keep grinding your way up to the top.
That'd be
But
sick.
that's definitely the main goal. Obviously, is keep keep moving your way up. And you say you're staying under the radar, but I mean, every time I open Twitter and I start scrolling, I see Jordan Leasure 98 to 100, another scoreless appearance or this or that, and I'm like retweet, a Tampa alumni just carving through
Yeah.
some hitters in the minors. So, what year did you win a national championship here?
We won in 19.
Nice. And
So
how did
Jordan,
you?
sorry,
Yeah.
Paul, real quick, Jordan, Dan Maynard then?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was my coach in college. you know, and he always talked about how great his experience at Tampa was, and
Yeah.
he did. He was a good catching coach for us.
Yeah, he's a great dude. He still will text me every now and then, and be hey, like, good job, like, keep going, man. He's a
Yeah,
great dude.
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So what is it like, playing Tampa D2, obviously the highest level of D2 baseball, going to win a national championship. What is the
Yeah,
chemistry like in that locker room? Something I even got to experience, not a national championship, but a Tampa style locker room where you're winning
yeah.
40 plus games a year and you're all amateur athletes. And now you're in an MLB organization where everyone's goal is to keep rising to the top. What is the locker room settings like?
There's some differences for sure, but I think most people would be surprised with how similar it feels. And I think that kind of is like just because of the way the Dodgers have their system set up and the culture that they try to create within the organization as a whole. Um, I think it's kind of thanks to that. I can't really speak on other orgs. I've heard like other guys from other orgs talk about like how it is and that they don't really enjoy it, or like they don't like some of their teammates for whatever reason. But I feel like the Dodgers do a really good job of like culminating a culture of like we're here to win. Like we're the Dodgers, so like we're the best, like in a way, like not always the best, but like we expect ourselves to be the best. So like we're gonna hold ourselves to a standard of winning and being champions. And then like just building around that of like what does that look like? Well, you gotta be a good teammate. And if you're not a good teammate, then you're not gonna be around for very long because like that's not kind of what they accept in a locker room. So it's like all the guys, at least on this team right now, like we expect to win. So every day we show up and it's fun. Like nobody's really going after each other. Like even though you're fighting for kind of the same jobs at the next level, it's like we're like challenging each other to be better, like rooting for each other. And you're wanting to move up, but like there's still like winning involved in the minor league levels. Like we're trying to go and win a championship at the end of the year and win a ring because that's something they do at the minor league level. So it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, your main focus is to move up, but like the goal every day coming to the field is like, what can we do to be better to win this game? So at the end of the year, we can celebrate and win a ring. So it's kind of, I think most people would be surprised how similar it is, but it's a lot of fun being able to like get close to guys and like just get to know them and be able to like go show up every day and like just be on the field with them, fighting, winning, challenging each other to be better.
yeah. If you show you can be a good teammate at that level and you guys can all win together as a group at that level, maybe you all start
Yeah.
moving up together at the same time. They just want to keep winning, and regardless of the level of the organization. And if you guys as a
Yeah.
group are showing you can all do it together, you're hopefully going to be able to keep doing it at the higher levels. So,
Oh
what were
yeah.
Coach Urso and Bull's reaction after you guys won a national championship? I didn't get to experience that, but just like it was crazy to me that we had a 40 win season. Like I came from Iona, which is,
Yeah.
a D1 school, but low level, mid major, didn't win many games. And this year we would win, win, win. We got to the 40 win mark and we got on the bus after the game and it was like nothing happened. Or so it was like, congrats on the win.
Yeah.
40 wins is tough to do in a year, but job's not done. That was literally like
Yeah.
all he said. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, all right, I guess, on to the next one. But
Yeah.
just I couldn't even imagine what they were like after a national championship.
Yeah. It's I feel like that's the kind of mindset that I was able to thrive under. It was like cool, like you reach this milestone, but we're not done. Like their goal every year is to be a national championship, like team win, like they want to be the last team and they're not happy unless they are. So I feel like that having that mindset I kind of thrived under. But that year we won, like you could see just the weight lifted off them. Even though they at that point they had won like five before or four before as coaches, a couple as players, but like just seeing them get that trophy again, like it was a completely different like person than what it was 24 hours before we had won.
Yeah,
It was
and
like
I'm
Ursa was
sure
like
like
on a truck
24.
bed, like you know, like I don't know. It was they were just like completely relaxed, relieved, like happy. It was pretty cool to like be a part of that celebration.
Of course. And I'm sure like 48 hours later they were already, potentially even forgetting about that one and worrying about the next one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, probably the next day they were out like recruiting, I'm sure.
They are. I told her so. I actually had a call with them the other day, and I told them, I'm finished up my last year. I do have another year of eligibility, but my body is kind of just hurting. I'm kind of ready to hang it up right
Yeah.
now. And I just told them, I'm like, I just want to let you know I am so impressed with like what you guys do year in and year out. Like it is really so impressive that you guys can just
Yeah.
continuously go out there and be a 40 win ball club every single year. And it's not even like, it's just because, oh, you go to Tampa. It's like because they built this culture that in the
Yeah.
fall, you step onto the field. He started off our first fall meeting wearing his ring from the last time they won one. And he was like, we
Yeah.
didn't win one of these last year. It was an unsuccessful year. Like that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Like let's get ready for the next one. And I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, I wasn't even here and I feel hurt from like that loss. But what was the transition from like college D2 baseball to the minors in the sense of like competition? Like how did you see a difference in competition?
Um, it's definitely a big jump. It definitely like there was some adjustments that I had to make. Um, I think mainly thinking about it, like you said, you show up to that fall meeting, it's like we're here to win a ring, and you leave that meeting, it's like, what do I need to do so I can help the team win? And so pretty much my whole college career was like all about like what can I do to win? What can I do to help the team win? What do we have to do to win? And then once I get into pro ball, then it's like I can take a step back and be like, what can I do to be better so I can be a big leaguer? Like what can I develop? And so it was kind of like taking a step back and then going into like affiliate, like low A, high, like playing that competition where it's like, okay, I know that I have pretty good stuff, so I can like just trust what I have and compete. But it's like these guys are good. Like I was just watching, like I'm on the mound facing this guy, and I'm like, I just watched him in the College World Series last year, the D1 World Series, and now I'm facing him like in a minor league game. Like it doesn't matter, but to me it matters. Like I want to beat him. Um, but it's like I don't know, just the talent, the competition level elevates like every level you move up, and you have to adjust. Every level you have to get a little bit better, do something a little bit differently to stand out. But really the main difference is like that I noticed each level, like when I got to low A, it was like, okay, mostly like younger guys, I can compete with this. Get to high A, it's like, all right, the top four guys in the lineup are like easily gonna be big leaguers one day. Gotta find a way to get them out. The other guys I know I can beat. Now it's like double A, it's like, shoot, this whole lineup could be playing in the big leagues right now. It's
Yeah.
like I don't like, I
I
can't
mean,
really
you could
find
be pitching in the big league soon.
yeah, and I'm sure they probably feel the same way because
Yeah.
like we see it happen all the time. Like I know you guys saw Emmett Sheehan. He was just in Double A with me 2 weeks ago, and now he has two starts in the big leagues and he's dominating up there. It happens quick, but that's just kind of like where you have to take a step back and be like, I belong here. I know like my stuff is good enough to get these guys out. I just have to do what I do best. And sometimes they're going to beat you, but most of the time if you're confident in what you have and your ability, you're gonna have like success. But it's kind of crazy to like look at a lineup before the week and it's like this guy's a first rounder, this guy was a first rounder, this guy was a third rounder. This guy was in sometimes like this guy played 2 years in the big leagues and now he's in
Yeah.
double A. So it's like, well, here we go. I hope my
Yeah.
stuff can play.
Yeah.
Jordan, what was that step specifically? Let's say in the case of going from high A to double A or low A or
Yeah.
whichever level you came from, like what was that step that you had to take that you were just talking about?
Each one was a little bit different. So like when I got drafted, I was like I didn't know it, but I had a pretty elite fastball in the numbers. Like I think in college I probably threw it like 92 to 95 most of the time. I think I hit 96 a few times in college. But I thought in college I was just blowing it by guys because I threw hard. And then when I got drafted, I found out that it plays a lot harder because of the way that I spin it and the vertical break, all this stuff. So when I got to low A, I was like, okay, I have a good fastball. I could beat most of the guys with that. Get to high A, and it's like I'm not going to beat most of these guys with just a fastball, so I got to be able to throw like a slider off of it. And then I get to double A, and it's like I have a pretty good fastball, pretty good slider, but it's not good enough. So now I gotta, like, when I got to double A last year, I think I was averaging probably 94, 95 on my fastball, and that's not going to beat most of the guys. And my slider was like 83, and it was kind of like, which is not bad for a slider, but it wasn't quite good enough for the way that it moved. So this year, the big step for me was I added like 2 miles an hour to my fastball, throwing it harder, throwing the slider harder. So I'm throwing my slider like 87 and 90. So it's more of like a bullet slider.
Yeah.
So it's like every step is like, okay, I'm pretty good at this, but I gotta like do this better. So like mostly being able to throw like the slider harder with the movement that I had was the big difference. And now it's like I'm looking to get to AAA, and it's like, all right, well, if I'm gonna want to get to AAA, I got to be able to throw my slider for a strike whenever I want to, and be able to throw it off the plate whenever I want to, which is not an easy thing to do. But like you look at the pitchers that are really good, and that's the kind of stuff they can do.
What
100%.
did you can go? Nate.
Sorry, Paul, real quick. Just do you find it's easier being with the Dodgers? Because I think if I was a pitcher and if I was good enough to be in your position, the Dodgers would be on a short list of teams that I would want to be on. Because I feel like like you see kids like Emmett, you see Bobby Miller, you see like Julio Urias, like all these pitchers. I feel like the Dodgers have at least one or two like young studs that come up every year. And like, did you find you're being in that kind of like a organization to help develop you and like with those steps moving up?
Oh, for sure. I mean, the Dodgers will spare no expense when it comes to development. So like if they need to buy a TrackMan machine, they're gonna buy it. If they need like a new slow
That's
motion
awesome.
camera, they're gonna buy it. Like they already have all that stuff, but like it's like whatever we need to do to help our guys get better, they're gonna spend the money for it because they just care that much about developing the system as a whole, top to bottom, to be really good.
That's
So
why they're
like
so
if
good
I
every year
was,
too. That's
yeah,
it shows.
yeah, I mean they like everyone makes fun of like, oh, the Dodgers spend money, but it's like they have the money, they're gonna spend it, like
Yeah.
they're not scared to because they know like if they're gonna be the best team every year, they have to. They like if they're gonna trade for guys that are help them win a World Series in October, they're gonna have 4 or 5 minor league guys that they can trade away that are ready to play in the big league level. So
Yeah.
I mean, it goes top to bottom where it's just like whatever we need to do to be better and develop to be big leaguers, they're going to make sure that we have access to.
That's great that you talk about the development because that was a question I wanted to ask. Like, how did your velocity and your body start to develop? Was it, training harder in the weight room? Was it mobility? Was it certain workouts that the Dodgers gave you? Like, what? Obviously, there's going to be a difference in coaching and development from college level to professional level. But you're saying you were 92, 95 in college, and now less than 2.5 years later, you can be 98 to 100 on any given day. Like, where did you see that biggest jump?
For me, I think it was mostly getting stronger. I think when I was in college, I was probably like 185 to 195. So I was pretty like skinny. And now I'm like 220. So like I put on a lot more like muscle. I think that helped, but also like the Dodgers, like I was saying earlier, they spare no expense. So they'll hire the best of the best, like nutritionists, like strength coaches, like whatever it takes. So they have absolutely insane like workouts and stuff they have us do, just like stuff I've never seen before. And like you're doing it, and it's like I feel so stupid like doing this,
Yeah.
but it works. Like I don't know if you guys have ever seen like the water bag stuff. It's getting more popular, but I never seen anything like that until I got to the Dodgers and like here you go, like do this
What
with
is
this. And
what is the benefit of that? I've seen because it is getting bigger, and I've
yeah,
seen it. I'm just very confused by what comes of it.
Coach Militello was not
so
impressed by it.
yeah. So it's kind of like a stabilization thing, but if using it, you can use it in different ways. You can use it as like a during a workout to like stabilize, work on like mobility or like moving cleaner. I use it a lot in like my pregame like work before I throw. I'll like throw them off the mound, not actually throw them, but like go through my motion with them. And it's kind of like a stabilization tool. It forces your body to get into better positions. Um, so like whenever you do throw a baseball, it's like your body is like muscle memory getting into better positions because of the water bags. Um, but yeah,
Interesting.
like you can use them for so many different purposes, but they're pretty cool. And I'd never seen them before I came to the Dodgers, and they're like, here you go. And that was one of the biggest things I think that helped with my velo is like using the different water bags for different exercises and like improving like my ankle stability or like my hinge pattern and like all this other stuff. Like I don't know, I could probably talk about it for hours, but
Yeah.
yeah,
We've had a
it's
bunch
pretty cool.
of different minor league guys on here, and it's always interesting to hear the difference in like the off season. Like some guys are like, yeah, they tell us to stay in shape and make sure you're ready for spring training. But it kind of seems
Yeah.
like with the Dodgers, they seem a little more hands on. Do they give you a training program, like a place to
Oh yeah.
train? Like, do they check in on you throughout the off season?
Oh yeah. So they have us download this app as soon as you get signed. It's called Conduct, and they upload everything onto that. So like they use it all year round too, not just in the off season, but like all of our lifts are on there. In the off season, they put our throwing program on there. So it's like you don't have to do that. You can say, "Oh, I'm gonna go train at this facility, this guy I trust," and they'll be like, "Okay, that's fine." Like, just check in. But I just follow what they give us, and in the off season, you get 4 lifts a week on that app. You go through and you like put in your weights, whatever you're doing, check it off. Has your throwing program, like the plyo routine that you need to be doing for the day, check it off. And then they're like pretty much once every 2 or 3 weeks, you'll have like the pitching coach call you. You'll have a strength coach call you. You'll have one of the athletic trainers call you just to check in and like make sure like your body's good, make sure you're like staying in shape, workouts are going good, throwing programs going good, like pretty much whatever you need. And it's like I haven't had to deal with it, but if there's like any problems, there's like, oh, like I started throwing, but like now my elbow doesn't feel good. They're like, all right, well, we'll shut you down. And if it's like something serious, then they'll just fly you out to Arizona for the complex and
Wow.
and start working with you then. But yeah, they're very free in the way they do the off season stuff, but it's like very hands on too. So like you can follow what they give you, or you can say, I'm gonna do my own thing. It's really up to you. Because at the end of the day, it's like they tell us it's your career. Like, your career's in your hands. You can do what you want. You're a professional, handle your business how you see fit. But at the same time, it's like we're paying you to show up to spring training and be a professional athlete. So we have to make sure you're at least doing that much.
Yeah. And we usually like to talk about the mental side of things on this podcast a little bit too. Usually Mark's on and he always likes to ask this question. But like what have you is there anything you've done mentally to keep that edge? Because baseball is one of the sports where you can fail consistently or very
Yeah.
more it seems like more often than not, but you're still going out there every second or third day and you're back on the bump and battling, not just the hitter, but your mental side of things. Is there anything
Yeah.
you could say to the younger guys who are either struggling or anything that's helped you along the process?
Um, yeah. I think the one thing that's helped me, which probably might not help a lot of other people, but I'm a big David Goggins guy.
Oh, I love them. I love it.
Love David Goggins. And I don't know if you know him, but Tim Grover.
I don't know him as much, but my girlfriend literally makes fun of me for like how much I bring up David Goggins.
Yeah. I'm a big David Goggins guy. If you like Goggins, you'll like Tim Grover too. He was Michael Jordan's trainer, Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade. He worked with those guys, like not just physical stuff, but like mental stuff. And he has a few books out that are really good. His first one was, I can't think of the name of it, but it was it was Good to Great to Unstoppable. And that was like the first like book I've read from him. And ever since then, I was like, I'm all in on this guy. But so I don't know. That's kind of where my mindset is. If you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
like if I
No.
have like a bad outing or like a stretch of bad outings, like there's a lot of like negative things going on in my head too. But there's a lot of all right, like if I see that guy again, like it's a lot more cuss words, but like, if I see that guy again, like I'm gonna get him. Like I'm not letting him beat me again, you know.
Yeah.
And so that I kind of use that to drive me to be better and like I don't know, being like in the position I'm in. I'm sure there's a lot of guys that struggle with like the mental side. I haven't really had too many struggles, thankfully.
Hmm.
But I think it probably helps too. Like the Dodgers spare no expense. Like we have mental coaches with us that they hire. We have like three of them, and then one's like an actual sports psychologist that I've talked to a lot about not just baseball stuff, but life stuff that is happening, you know. But they during spring training, like twice a week, you have like meetings with the mental coaches and you sit down for 20 minutes and they work you through like exercises and not even stuff that might be going on currently, but it's like if this is like happening or you know, if you find yourself in this position, here's some exercises you can do. And they give us notebooks and like you write everything down so you have it and you don't forget like all the stuff that you worked on in spring training. During the season, they come out and work with us and run us through exercises and stuff. Um,
I
so
love
it's
that.
pretty, I mean, yeah, it's pretty good stuff. And one of the guys that works with us actually played baseball. You know, I think he made it to double A or triple A. So he actually understands the baseball side of it and the mental side of it. Um, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, like, I don't even know. My
Yeah.
mental, a lot of guys make fun of me because it's like I'm a pretty like quiet, like reserved guy. Like I don't say a lot, you know, I'm really nice. I don't ever like have anything against anyone, like you know, super chill guy, but you get me in the right headspace where I'm on that mound, it's like someone's beating me, I turn into like David Goggins, like
Yeah. It's like what is it? Survive, adapt or die. It's like you're out
yeah,
there and you know like this is something that you want and the other guy also wants a similar thing and you're not going to let him have it. You're not your mental is
yeah,
I can't let him beat me. But no,
Oh,
yeah.
I want
that's
to play for the
incredible.
Dodgers now. I'm getting like kind of like antsy now. I want to like this is awesome.
I
Like
know
they
this is
Dude,
like
it's
take down this Yankees poster and put up a Dodgers one after
yeah,
hearing
let's
all the
go.
things that Jordan's
yeah,
talking about.
yeah, the
How is
Dodgers, I mean, it's like Um, I'll let you go, but I was just gonna say like I didn't know it when I got drafted, but being drafted by the Dodgers is definitely the best thing that could have happened to me. Like it
yeah.
was a blessing. Like if I was drafted by any other team, I'm not sure I'm sitting here throwing, you know, 97, 98, you know, with a good slider. I'm probably back in Tampa working at a desk job, you know.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. What team did you grow up liking?
I grew up in Tampa, so I was always a Rays fan.
Oh,
Luckily, I got to go to a lot of games with my grandpa growing up. So he kind of helped me fall in love with the game and push me to like be where I'm at with like motivating me and helping me like work on stuff. And
yeah.
so
So
very
obviously,
grateful to have him.
obviously you're a professional baseball player, but what are some hobbies outside of baseball? What have you seen? We always talk about a little bit of a balance. Me and Nico
Yeah.
both played obviously college baseball, and you know we like to find that balance because you know if
Yeah.
baseball consumes your life every single second of the day, it can be a lot sometimes.
Yeah, it can be. For me, I I don't know. I really enjoy just sitting in front of the TV a lot of the
Yeah,
time, watching Netflix.
What are you
I
watching on
enjoy
Netflix?
watching. Right now, we're watching Suits. They just added it on Netflix.
I've been thinking about watching that. It looks good.
It's really good. It's an older show, and I'd never seen it before. And then in spring training, we started watching it on Amazon Prime and got addicted. And now they added it to Netflix, so we've been watching that. But also, the new season of Black Mirror just came out,
I gotta
so
watch
we've
that.
been going through those episodes. Those are
What's
yeah.
crazy.
what do you think is the weirdest one that you? I mean, we don't have to go into too many details because it can get really weird on that show. But like, is there like an episode that
Yeah.
stands out to you? Because me and my buddies watch it all the time.
Oh yeah. The first episode of the new season, I don't know if you guys have watched it, I don't want to spoil anything, but that
No.
one was crazy. It makes you think like because they kind of mock, like the inside the episode, they have like a mock Netflix kind of thing. And the lady that's like the main character basically signed an agreement with the Netflix. It was called something else, but she signed an agreement and she didn't read it. It was like terms and conditions, whatever, just agreed to it. And basically she didn't realize it, but she agreed to let them use her life to make a show. And so things were happening on a daily basis to her in her life. And just a few minutes later, she's watching it on this Netflix show portrayed by a different actress or whatever. And so it was super crazy. And it just
It's
makes
very
you
Black
think
Mirror.
like, what am I agreeing to,
Yeah.
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 No,
I just
there's
started Peaky Blinders. Now I'm kind of hooked on that.
Oh,
I'm like
yeah.
years too late on that boat, but I just got hooked on it.
Oh, dude, I just watched it last season. Me and my roommate last year when I was in Tulsa, we started watching it. I think we finished it in probably 2.5 weeks.
yeah.
I can
Wow.
see that.
Wow. So, we're wrapping up soon, but what any mentors or people, coaches that have helped you get to where you are today that you like to shout out whenever you talk about, because you're at a pretty high level right now. So anyone that's coached
Yeah.
you probably loves to claim you and loves to hear the stories that you've got to experience. But is there any mentor or coach that has really helped you get to where you are today?
Honestly, man, there's been so many. I think going back to like my little league days, I had really good coaches. And then high school, like you guys want to know them, but like Coach Livey, Coach Mig, Coach Ronnie, back in high school, like they kind of like going into my high school year, it's like playing baseball. I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep playing or not, and they kind of had a culture of high school like baseball of like winning already. And so kind of going into that pushed me to be better and want to be better and want to win. And then going into college, like Coach Sam, Coach Jose, Coach
Yeah,
Urso,
it
like
seems like you've
just
only been a
that
part of winning cultures.
it feels like I've been very, very lucky growing up with the coaches that I've had and like all the people that I've been around that have pushed me to be better. Like my mom and my grandpa and my family, like they're the main ones. Like without them, I wouldn't still be here.
Yeah.
My mom kind of has like that, not as aggressive, but that same attitude of it's like when I was growing up and like I wasn't very good growing up playing baseball. Like in high school, I wasn't always the best. And she reminds me all the time. I would come home and like be upset about like not playing or like not playing well or whatever. And she's like, well, if you don't like it, then keep working, like get better. you know?
Yeah.
It's the
Figure out
best
a
So
answer.
kind
way.
of having that. Yeah. And my grandpa has been like the biggest support, just financially helping me with anything I need. Growing up, he would always drive me to baseball tournaments and stuff. And like we have a pretty big yard. So when I was like, until I was probably 12, he was out there in the yard and he would catch me. And I would like throw off a mound to him and he would catch me. And
Yeah. It
so
might
I
be
don't know.
tough to catch 90, 98 now. So you're
Yeah, he's
growing
not,
up,
yeah, he's
but
not
no,
getting down there anymore. But
that's
yeah,
always
there's a
important.
lot. There's a lot of people that um have helped me, and I don't even know. I probably can't even remember all of them right now, but
Hmm.
definitely very, very lucky.
Yeah. No, well, we really, really appreciate you coming on today. It's, always really cool for us to hear these type of stories. And like Nico said, you're kind of turning me into a little bit of a Dodgers fan right now with everything I'm
Good.
hearing that how they treat their players and
I'm fully on
obviously
board. I'm on board with the Dodgers now.
Yeah.
fully on board. So how we wrap up every episode is I get a scratch off and we scratch it
hmm
off together. And I used to call it something along the lines of you scratch my back, I scratch yours. So for hopefully, if you know the super bad quote, we
Yeah.
like to hopefully win a big scratch off one day for one of the interviewees that come on, and maybe we can win some money together. And
That's
it
right.
all right. So right now you got two $50,000 circles. If another one of those pops up, we win 50,000. Oh, all right. You've won $2. Unless this last circle is 50,000. Oh,
And over your
no.
Venmo, $2 coming your way.
Yeah, this is a $2 winner. Yeah. So you got to get
Oof.
the number 3 times. We got 2 3 times. I can be.
All right.
We can split it $1 each. Help you get.
Yeah.
Help you
Do I
get
even
some
pay for a
guac.
pack of gum anymore, or is gum
No,
like $3 now, $4?
I think you can get some guac on your Chipotle bowl if
Yeah.
that's what you want. But no, Jordan, we really appreciate you coming on. This has been amazing. I hope in the future we can have you on again as you keep climbing up the ranks. Definitely send this over to Mike. He'll probably love to listen to this.
I'm sure
And
he
I'll
would.
definitely send it over to the coaches, let them know that you hopped on. But this was incredible. Thanks again.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can have you on again soon.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Jordan.
Thank you guys. I had a lot of fun talking to y'all.
Yeah. All right. Let me stop recording.